on the bench.
Very unusual, and I think it's indicative of both have been in, just fairly ordinary form by their own standards the last month.
So here we go with the opening bounce, and speaking of Carlton, it's nice to welcome to the microphone a three-time premiership player with the club, Ian Robertson. Welcome, Robbo.
Good on you, Sandy. Get into the excitement.
Oh, it should be a beauty tonight. As I said, conditions are absolutely perfect. North out to erase those nightmares of the second preliminary final last year when Carlton ran all over them. So it's going to be a big one.
Yes, it's Kernahan and Rice at the dual full forward line instead of Kernahan-Pearce tonight.
So a throw in on right half forward. Brett Heaver, as you saw there, was the other player on the interchange. Craig Bradley is back in this Carlton lineup wearing the long sleeves tonight. Wayne Schwass at the bottom of the pack. He'll be looking for a big game tonight, the Schwatter.
The Blues won the reserves, Sandy, by 19 points. North Melbourne, before tonight, had only lost 2 matches in the reserves.
Madden, beaten. It's going to be a great duel, isn't it? Madden and McKernan. Bradley gets his first kick for the night. Anderson tries to belt it over the back. Bradley again, taken by Ratton. Spears it in towards the middle. Stevens has got to beat a couple. Well, Hickmont slipped over it. Let Anderson and Stevens try and get through. Picked up by McKernan. A high kick in towards Danilchenko. Couldn't take it cleanly. Archer's away. Glenn Archer, beautiful. So Lissenden, the late inclusion, gets his chance to open the night with a big kick and maybe a goal. He's come down from the bush. He went for a big kick, slightly off the side of the boot, and it's Mackay on the last line of defence, tidying up.
Well, I would have thought that should have been paid a mark, but the umpire indicate play on. Sexton's kicking towards the half-back area. The mark is taken by Brown. Fraser Brown, who played such a wonderful game under enormous pressure last week against the Swans. Brown's kick to the wing, and a good mark is taken down here in front of us by Carey. He plays on. Blakey, now Schwass. Schwass's handball over the top of Madden, finds Laidley. Laidley in the middle of the MCG. He's kicked towards centre-half forward. No mark taken. It's punched away. It's still there in dispute. Now it's gathered there by Rock. Rock's kick across the half-forward line. Here's a chance for Scott. Scott will go in. Unselfishly, Mayer should have had a shot. Wonderful tackle on defence. Scott's snapshot has missed. Maybe should have gone for the goal the first time.
And Wayne Carey's at centre-half back, so in the early part of the game, at least the Silvani-Carey duel isn't going to eventuate.
Dwyer coming straight onto the ground. So North making an early change with Armstrong coming off.
Gee, they were lucky there. I reckon that kick was out on the full that went to Silvani, but the umpire, the goal umpire, hadn't finished his duties.
So Manton gets another chance. It's going to be okay. Drops for Diesel Williams. In towards the middle. Ronnie DeLulio. He's been in pretty good form. Goes up towards half forward. And the mark taken by Sexton. Ben Sexton. Well, he's kicked a behind for the year in the seniors. Kernahan could have given a nudge. No, said the umpire.
Gee, he's good at that, isn't he?
He's a master.
He is just so good at that.
I think it's the critical part of Kernahan's game. He doesn't do it heaps of times, but once, twice, 3 times a game, he'll mark the ball in the goal square. Just a genuine long kick in and the ability just to stand, because he's a very tall player, but a bit too tall, stands his ground, stretches high in the air and marks the ball in the goal square.
20 goals, 12 coming into tonight's game this season, and there's the first for the night for the Carlton captain.
And Mickey Martin's always complaining to the umpire. We'll just wonder if it was a bit of a shove in the back. Mickey thinks there's no such thing as a fair mark against him. Let's have a look at this one. See whether he just did stand his ground or did he just ease him under the ball. Just held his ground, I think.
It was a good kick too by Ben Sexton to set it up for Stephen Kernahan. And the Carlton captain, the 200th time that he's captained the Blues. Brown gets it away to Campo Reale, and he's kicked towards the half-forward line. Knocked away by that strong North Melbourne defence. Already spoken about the challenges that will be met by both defences here tonight. And the ball will be balled up at the 60-metre mark. Carlton's right half-forward, Scott Camporeale, playing for the Blues. He's been a terrific pickup since crossing from South Australia. Williams couldn't take it with him, neither could Sexton. Ratton in there with Carey, and the umpire will bounce once again. The Blues have kicked a goal through their captain Stephen Kernahan. Robert Scott has kicked it behind for North Melbourne, and the play at right half forward for Carlton, about 55 metres from their goal. Madden gets a right fist to it, nearly taken away there by King. A struggle there between Laidley and Ratton, and Laidley will get the free kick. Plays on quickly.
Yes, he heads to the outer side, Robbo, towards Carey. Sexton is right there with him, pushed out in front. Opportunity for Martin to assist his captain, and he does so towards Danilchenko. Trapped it nicely in the end after being unable to take it on the half volley, but Hannah will be first to it. Back comes Mill. It's a high kick towards Danilchenko and co once again. He's going to be the first to recover. Picks it up now, goes in towards the 50. No mark taken. Out the back it spills. Roberts comes steaming through. Sockers off the ground, but he's wide, and he's out of bounds on the full.
Well, that's probably an indication of the pressure. Armstrong, Bell and Fairley on the bench for North Melbourne.
Here's Madden, a chance to use his blistering pace. Look at the galloping head rack go. Look at that.
He's lucky he's got the small players to help him out.
Camporelli, Hannah. Kicks towards centre wing. Carey from behind, a big fist over Sexton. And a throw in. But, gee, the ingredients are here tonight for a big game.
Do you think the conditions suit either side here tonight? Lee, last year the preliminary final was played in muddy conditions.
Undoubtedly, wet weather suits Carlton. I think they're as good a team as anyone in wet or dry, but much better in the wet comparative to other teams.
Expecting maybe a few showers, but who knows. As Stevens gives it away to Blakey. North Melbourne go charging in towards Roberts at half forward. Manton is there defending well. At the bottom is Roberts. Still at the bottom. And eventually Scott McLaren comes in to take charge.
Mark Roberts just appealing for a possible free kick, but the umpire prepared to bounce 40 metres from the North Melbourne goal. Up high was McKernan, comes down towards Brown. Hickbott was brilliantly tackled. The umpire sees that as a lock-in situation. The tackler was Dwyer. It was a beauty. Umpire will bounce. It's a little closer to North Melbourne's goal, perhaps only 35 metres out now. McKernan up high. Madden couldn't quite take it. McKay attempted out of the air. Now Danilchenko. Back he goes to Rock. Rock with his second kick mark to North Melbourne to Lissenden. Right in front, only 20 metres out. Good mark. So Eric Lissenden could have an impact in the first 3 minutes of this game.
And it's playing in front. More often than not, quick kicks, the ball will drop short, and very rarely is Stephen Silvani caught out like that, but that time Lissenden read it better.
Lissenden for his first goal, and it's there. So Eric Lissenden has put North Melbourne in front. They lead by a point.
It's an interesting tactical battle going on in the centre square here. Carlton have started Koutafoutis, Bradley and Brown as their three on balls, and Ratton and Williams are out of the centre square, which is unusual. Stevens is trying to tag Bradley, Blakey's on Koutafoutis, and Rock is matched up with Brown. That's just how the midfield has set up to start the game.
One point the margin, favouring North, with Lissenden getting his first goal. Back in the centre, it's Madden trying to win it down towards Brown. Fraser Brown backpedals it to Bradley. Nicely done. Bradley's kick towards Rice at half forward. Waiting down is Ratton. He gives it away towards Clappe. Wider to Rice again, and Rice goes for goal and answers for the Blues.
Well, Ratton's handball there, Sandy, was just something special.
And I think it started also with that quick kick forward by Bradley. Sometimes one of the greatest skills in football is to know just to kick it. You're under so much pressure, let's just get the ball forward. And from this contest, well, I think the North Melbourne players looked at each other a little bit then, but he's a good finisher, Rice. And Pearce is a very good medium-sized forward pocket player. He's on the bench, and Rice does that job very well.
So Rice kicks his first goal for the evening, and the Blues lead 2 goals to North Melbourne 1-1. Very important part of the game, these two boys, Justin Madden and Corey McKernan. The ball comes down to Dwyer. He's tackled well by Ratton, and it's all locked up. Not far from the centre circle. Dwyer, coming on in the early part of the game, went to the bench at the start, but came on very quickly. Madden gets it down. Ratton to no one in particular. Koutafidis, just a little kick, wasn't that clever? Bradley takes it off his boot nearly. The kick to half forward, punched back. Blakey tackled, ball spills to the ground, still there to be won. Blakey can't get clear. Koutafidis pressure not bad. Anderson, now Ratton productively again. Bradley already into the game, and the kick finds Williams 50 metres from goal. Bradley having an impact. Back after a few weeks. He's had 4 kicks in the first 6 minutes. Now Greg Williams, 50 metres, is a stretching kick for Williams. Such a good player. He goes across the half-forward line, looks for Madden, and he's got it. The big fella just stuck one arm up in the air, fended off with the other, and has marked about 40 metres out.
That's a situation where Corey McKernan was back trying to cover Kernahan and basically just got caught out. It's a probably similar kick that Madden's got that Williams had. I would think he might be 3 or 4 metres closer, but it will have the added value of making McKernan very conscious of Madden next time that play eventuates.
Doesn't mind a goal, Big H.
I was going to say, Harry might be a little happier than Diesel if he kicks it.
Doesn't mind a goal. And does all the right things. Lines up, watches the football, kicks through it, hasn't got the distance or the accuracy, and he has kicked it behind.
Came into this game with 188 to his name, and at the moment hasn't added to that. Well, that has been the talking point, hasn't it, of the week. Fitzroy, now the Brisbane Lions, but so close to being with North Melbourne. Schwass takes the kick out. And Corey McKernan says go, and he does. In towards the centre. Blakey was there, but he couldn't take it. Oh! Crunched for Sexton. Down he went, but he bounced up again. Williams tries to sucker off the ground. Out the back it comes towards Archer. Stands his ground, gives it back to Schwass. Kick partly smothered. It will drop short. Carlton defending well. Hickmott kicks back to centre wing. Straight to McKernan. He pumps a long one down towards the forward line. And a fine mark taken by Silvani. Plays on quickly. It had to be good, and it was to Hannah. Just going across the goal face. Mil Hannah. Spearing it in towards Delulio. He was surrounded. A chance now for Simpson. Takes it from Freeborn. A high kick in towards full forward. Lissenden outmanoeuvred. Spills free towards Delulio and Roberts. It's the former who soccers towards the boundary line. Sexton keeps it in play. Goes over the top, but Archer's the first there for North Melbourne. The Roos desperately trying to get their second on the board. Stevens a chance at the back. Here he goes. Caught. Fine tackle by Silvani. North under pressure. McKernan tries to find Lissenden. McKay goes storming through. Gives the hand pass beautifully away to Camberelli. He's got Bradley. Carlton are away. One bounce. Bradley spearing the pass in towards Kernahan. Touch of class about that piece of play. Here's Kernahan starting at left. Going way over the top and through for behind.
Interesting, that couple of attacks that North have gone forward as normal. They've come through midfield and kicked the ball to that dangerous spot 20 metres out from goal, but there's no Carey and no McKernan to mark it.
2-2 to 1-1. David King to kick it in for North Melbourne. His kick is very wide. Good mark taken by Carey. Just a little bit of an advantage in height and a bit of superiority in strength there. Carey over Clappe. His kick, he looks for Schwass, and Schwass another good possession. Quality player, Wayne Schwass. Hand pass, running for him was Blakey. Down the ground. Blakey goes straight towards goal. Mark Roberts, back goes Silvani. Close to the line, he'll take it over for a behind. A rushed one to the Kangaroos. Very big crowd here, probably the biggest crowd we've had Friday night football at the MCG. The kick in, finds Sexton. He's able to play on. The Blues have got the ball at halfback. Approaching the wing is Williams. His kick is well weighted, finds Kernahan.
He goes on with it. He's got Bradley inside. The two South Australians. Bradley tumbles a putt. Over the top, it bounces for a goal. 6 kicks to Craig Bradley. And what a quarter he's having.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, this early setup isn't working for North. They have to get Carey back into the forward line, I would believe. I mean, they just don't look to have enough marking power down there for a side that depends on kicking the ball in. They've maybe tried to unbalance North or Carlton's matchups by playing Carey at centre-half back. But I just think they're kicking it long in there, North, but they've got no one to mark it.
What a comeback by Craig Bradley with 6 kicks and that blistering goal. Carlton are clear and they've got a chance to go forward again. Hannah's on the end of the hand pass towards Rice. Edged out inside 50. Laidley under pressure. Tumbles at Dwayne Schwass. He's been busy in the first quarter. Couple of kicks, couple of marks and a couple of hand passes. Finds Simpson. Played every game for North Melbourne this year. Goes over the top to Rock. He's just about caught. What do you think of that, Lee?
Well, I'm not quite sure what that was all about. I had the feeling if it was a deliberate push in the back, it's a free kick down the field. I can't for the life of me see how he's getting the free kick rather than it being down the ground.
Well, it's Rock with the football. His kick goes into centre-half forward, and well done by Roberts. He just got in the road there of Manton, which has allowed Blakey to mark on the 50-metre line. Again, a stretching kick for John Blakey. Good run in. Good long kick to the line. Archer got his hands on it, just couldn't hold on to it. Away goes Koutafidis to Duulio. Duulio. His kick to the wing has been marked by Hannah. And Hannah is big in stats so far. 5th kick coming up. 4th mark. Hannah's kick to half forward. Nearly taken by Clappe. Anderson, number 5 there for North Melbourne. The ball spills over for a boundary throw in. Carlton bench. Some blood pressure in that room. 250 games, David Park, and 200 games as captain for Stephen Kernahan. It is a big night for the Blues. It's a big night for North Melbourne, trying to just knock that hoodoo away. McKernan does well to get his right foot to it. Well blocked there by Simpson. Now Brown for Carlton. Handball to no one in particular. Madden gets rid of his opponent. Then a little handball. Was that legal?
I thought it was a little throw.
Yes, I think a little throw is the correct word.
Laidley to kick North Melbourne into their forward half.
In front, McKernan. Manton was also going for the mark, perhaps instead of trying the fist. History now. Blakey.
We saw then that McKernan's marked the ball forward of centre for North, and I think to really exploit Madden, McKernan has to be able to get into North Melbourne's forward line and try and be a marking option. For the first 15 minutes of the game, he was playing more like a conventional ruckman across half-back and midfield.
Little bit of form here. He's kicked from 50 metres, just dropped short. This is from just inside 50. Should get the distance.
Certainly got the distance, but he slams it into the woodwork. John Blakey behind in his 214th game as Steve Kernahan and Mick Martin just crossing over the wing and heading back down to Kernahan's position in the forward line. We go back to another veteran, a veteran of 202 games, Stephen Silvani. Koutafidis. Duulio. On the defensive side of centre. He looks towards right half forward. Sexton beaten on that occasion. Carey takes the mark from behind. Finally gets clear. Pushes up over the centre towards half forward. Archer. McKay comes wide to Hannah. Mill is caught. And then he shrugs one tackle. Back to Duulio again. To the outer side. They've got some space now. Sexton is there with a little bit of time. Down to half forward he goes. Madden on the chest. Bradley scouting again. A centering kick. He wants Kernahan. Was he pushed? No, said the umpire. Play on. Rice somehow scoops it out to Brown. Brown has kicked a goal. bad, that, Lee.
No, and I think the critical factor, I often look at the two ruck contests, the Madden-McKernan thing. We saw Madden mark the ball across the half-forward line, and that's what's dragging McKernan out of the north forward line. And really, the ground level play, the on-ball for Carlton, they're the winners at the moment. Bradley's getting the ball. Very good kick over the head by Brown to finish.
Fraser Brown's third kick. Carlton's fourth goal. Blues lead by 17 points. Madden again gets his first hand to it. Ratton as well. Knocks it forward. Oh, free kick there to Anthony Rock. Is the advantage with North? It is. Away goes Scott. Scott's kick towards full forward. At the back, it's just touched there by Hickmott. Off the ground by Silvani. Out wide. The race is on. Julio off the ground as well. Close to the line. And that probably wasn't such a bad play there by Ronnie Julio. He was confronted by a couple of North Melbourne players. Gets a pat on the head from Milhana. Boundary throw in, right half forward. The national sportsbook odds. Big money, I believe, for the Blues late in the week. They've firmed to 7-4 on. North Melbourne are 5-4.
And it's North who go into attack down towards that half-forward line again. Mackay and Brown combine to defend. Back towards centre wing. Jim Madden's had an excellent first quarter. Hand pass on this occasion, partly smothered. There's an opportunity for Blakey to give it to Schwass. He runs through the middle over the head of Stevens, but finds McKernan. Corey lets one go, tumbling a punt towards Roberts at full forward. He'll have to soccer off the ground. Well, Danilchenko will, and he does. So Jason Danilchenko gets his 14th for the season, and North stay in touch. 2-3 plays 4-2.
Unfortunately, that's the way North look like they're going to have to get the goals. That ground level sort of scunging of them. And McKernan and Madden, they're both trying to get into half forward to put the pressure on the opposite number. Already North have reacted. Schwass has now gone on to Bradley and Stevens on to Ratton. Bradley's dominated this first part of the game.
The bounce at the centre, taken away by Blakey, gets North Melbourne up within 40 metres. Sexton couldn't quite take the mark. He's quick to recover. Gee, suffered a very heavy bump. He's gone. Archer pulled him down and did it fairly. Roberts to pick the crumbs up and snap for goal. Back there on the last line of defence for the Blues is Andrew Mackay.
It's going to come back because it's
got to come
no
back.
advantage.
It was a holding the ball decision, and the umpire thought, I'll see what happens here, but he's allowed the advantage of a North player kicking a snapshot over his shoulder from the boundary, but the ball always had to come back to Archer. That was correct umpiring.
So Archer will shoot from about 30 metres. About a 45-degree angle. Pretty good goal kicker for North Melbourne is Glenn Archer. And has been good for the Kangaroos over the last few weeks. Can he get North Melbourne's third goal? He kicks. And disappointingly, he misses.
There's always a feeling that Andrew Mackay does pretty well on Glenn Archer, and I think we've seen Archer fumble a couple of marks. It's amazing when you're playing on someone who's maybe beaten you on most occasions, how jittery you are, and just a tenseness sense.
Just under 3.5 minutes remaining. Glenn Madden has it in the back pocket for Carlton. Been a good, tight, exciting first quarter. Williams fisting in the air. Mackay caught. Koutafidis almost threw it out. Roberts, Archer, clear. Here's a chance for North Melbourne. Down towards the forward line. Lissenden around his body, over his head, into full forward. And a great mark taken under extreme pressure by Sexton on the last line of defence. Hasn't he had a year? Although Rock will come over the top and take this one. Oh!
Well, Brett Ratton couldn't see Rock coming, but everyone else in the stadium could, and it was set up. As long as Rock could keep his balance and jump in the air, he had the perfect sit, and he took it successfully. And Sexton would be just hands on hips, thinking to himself, I shouldn't have done that one.
Dwyer off, Armstrong back on as Rock from 40 metres out, directly in front, kicks a goal. His 9th for the season, and a costly one for Michael Sexton.
Well, certainly Carlton started the game well in the first bit of the game, but really North have fought their way back this last 10 minutes. Really, it's a very interesting game. Lissenden down there has just looked a bit slow a couple of times, panicked a little bit on that left foot shot, but very poor disposal by Sexton.
Well, it was a terrific mark by Anthony Rock, and he got North Melbourne's third goal. Manton just holds it up there, quite importantly. And the umpire will be forced to bounce. Umpires Mark Nash, David Howlett and Scott McLaren. In charge of this big game at the MCG. Madden gets his left hand to it, doesn't go anywhere. Hickbott nearly had his head kicked off by his teammate.
Do you get a free kick if your teammate tries to kick your head off? Don't think you do.
No. It's Matty Armstrong in picture. I think he was on the bench to start the game too. Madden gets it over the top of Roberts. Armstrong dispossessed by Hannah. Freeborn out into the clear. A little bit of misunderstanding there, but now North Melbourne have a chance. Rock and Hannah. Rock does well. Handball away. Freeborn away to Armstrong. Armstrong's kick towards full forward. McKay away from Archer. Stevens, left foot snap by Stevens. North Melbourne are in front. So they have fought back. They faced a deficit of 17 points just a few moments ago. They've kicked the last 3 goals. They lead by 2 points to Kangaroos.
I think more importantly, they've sort of got the scoreboard ticking over against this Carlton defence. All of a sudden, their midfield has really picked up heaps the last 10 minutes. Rock's been very good for them the last bit of the game. Stevens is in there, and really, it's a really good quality game, this one.
Stevens' first goal. Back in the middle, so it's been a very important couple of minutes for both sides, but it's been great for North. They've been able to hit back. Stevens, if he gets boot to ball, a long one into full forward and taken on the last line of defence by Sexton.
Do you think he'll kick it long after his
I don't think he'll go short. Goes back towards the defensive 50, towards Koutafidis. Can't take it. North have the numbers there. If Armstrong can get out at the bottom of the pack, he eventually does get it clear. It's towards Stevens again. A little chip's going to be okay. And Rock is going to have a shot with 30 seconds remaining on the clock.
It's helped bring him back into the game, Rock. I think that the Carlton ascendancy on the on-ball brigade for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the quarter, but I think Rock, more than any one North Melbourne player, has really got in there after the ball and set a few up.
One of 8 North Melbourne players not to have missed a game this season. He's already kicked 1 for the night. He's kicking from probably 46 metres. Into the square and off hands for a behind. So another rushed behind goes on the board for North. But an excellent finish to this first quarter by the boys from Arden Street. 4-5. Plays 4-2. Silvani ponders Bradley, then goes short. Straight down the middle to Scott Camporelli. Around the body to centre wing, but there's the siren. Quarter time and a fascinating duel unfolding as Rondolulio picks it up and Dennis Pagan. Mark Dawson and co head down to meet the North Melbourne players. There's Corey McKernan, Mark Stevens. For North, Rock has 1. Anthony Stevens, I should say, and it's Anthony Stevens has 1. Jason Danilchenko has 1, and Eric Lissenden 1. Mark Stevens was an emergency for this game. Whilst for Carlton, Stephen Kernahan in his 200th game as captain. Fraser Brown, Craig Bradley and Dean Rice all have goals. Wayne Carey playing in defence. Here comes David Parkin.
And I think Carlton probably, the Carlton scoring efficiency's been great. I think most of the ball has been in North's half for the majority of the quarter.
So at quarter time, it is North Melbourne coming from behind to lead by 3 points. 4-5, 29. Carlton, 4-2, 26. Second quarter. McKernan wins it, but it's taken by Bradley off to Koutafidis. He had a very quiet first term. Wide to Camporelli. A high kick to right half forward. Rice comes steaming out. Couldn't quite take it in front of the eyes. Stevens is there defending for North Melbourne. Carey caught. Fine tackle.
It was a good tackle.
Fraser Brown. Into half forward, in towards Kernahan territory.
Done it again. Stands there and marks it. He's unbelievably
Every
strong
adjective's been used, hasn't
and tall. It's just as a genuine 50-50, one-on-one contest. And just Kernahan was just read it that little bit better in the extra height.
I don't think you can get a bigger rap than Ian Collins, who described him as the greatest captain that the club has had. They've had some big names. There's another one for Sticks Kernahan. So he kicks his second. It's his 22nd for the season.
Yes, and a good, straight, accurate kick. Yeah, I think it must be Dennis Pagan who must be thinking a little bit at the moment whether Ian Fairley may be a better bet than Mick Martin. I don't think he's going to change it in the short-term future, but just that overhead mark has just troubled Mickey a bit in this early part of the game.
So the Blues off to a pretty good start for the second quarter. Madden and McKernan. Hannah, was that a little high? Well, he may have been a fraction lucky because he tried to break through the tackle, was retarded, but the tackle was deemed to be too high. Hannah's kick to the half-forward area, not taken by Brown. Taken away now by King. King is on the wing, and he's kicked towards centre-half forward, punched away. Contest here at half-forward. North Melbourne have got all the numbers. There's a free kick. Now the advantage is with North, and the goal has been kicked by Roberts. The hesitation was because there was a free kick awarded to North Melbourne back on the 50-metre line. The umpire saw the ball was with North in the clear, and Roberts did the rest.
What's an enthralling duel this? We'll see the ball is directed McKernan at centre-half forward. McKernan's trying to get into centre-half forward for North, and Madden's trying to do the same for Carlton. It's a question of who can draw their opposition ruckman back with them, but certainly eventually a good finish by Roberts.
So North Melbourne answer. McKernan flat on his back from the middle. Armstrong wins it out again, and it's Anderson who pumps a long kick down towards half forward. McKay will defend close to the boundary line. In fact, he won't get there in time. Coming in for only his 7th game for the season, with of course his veterinarian studies up north taking precedence. Madden contesting again with McKernan. McKernan can't quite get a kick away. Neither can McKay. Madden's working really hard. Could have almost been some holding on going on there. Archer runs into the Koutafidis tackle. Rondeulio wants to escape, but too late. Another whistle.
One wouldn't suspect on what we've seen in the first quarter we're going to see a lot of whistles tonight. The umpires are letting go a lot of the half free kicks, and as long as the game's played completely that way, well, fine.
From that bounce, it was Manton towards Bradley, but Stevens intercepts to Roberts. Pulls it back in towards half forward, a century kick, and that's what he meant to do. And at the bottom is Glenn Archer.
Well, he's good overhead, Archer, really. This is, again, just a strong mark. He had slightly the better position on Mackay, but he kept his eye on the ball, strong hands, and came down with it.
Directly in front. And a chance to stretch North Melbourne's lead to 9 points. He's kicking from 38 metres. A drop punt is straight through the middle.
Well, I think it's an important couple of goals, obviously, for North. Carlton got the first one of the quarter, but I think North are travelling along pretty well. But what we're seeing is, we see it so often, that the scoring efficiency of Carlton, they haven't gone forward all that many times, but when they do go forward, they look like scoring, and they really put that scoreboard pressure on the opposition. But really, the last 25 minutes of play, North have been pretty good.
Five of the last 6 goals kicked by North Melbourne. They trailed by 17 points. They now lead by 9. Koutafidis kick from the middle of the ground towards half forward. It'll bounce in open territory. Campo Reale, his hand pass to Clappe. Clappe in towards the pocket. Will it bounce nicely for Rice? He taps it back to his own advantage. Does well. Gives away a bit of ground. Williams, and eventually taken over by Campo Reale. And We'll have a boundary throw-in in the right forward pocket for Carlton.
You've been eating Italian all week, have you?
You don't like that one? Well, I heard that was the way you pronounce his name, Sandy. So we've got to get into it. To Camporiali. And the ruckman to go at it. Madden. Williams couldn't take it. Stevens desperate stuff. The ball rebounds towards the Carlton goal. Knocked away by Laidley. Lands with Schwass. 50 metres defensive line. Only as far there as Koutafidis. Gathered by Ratton. Back to Koutafidis. Close to the line. It's been deemed as maybe over by the man in the powder blue out there. And he will throw it in about 65 metres around from the Carlton goal.
We'll see Mark Roberts contest the boundary throw with Justin Madden. He's basically gone onto the ball, I think, except for the centre bouncers. And Corey McKernan is now at centre-half forward, matched up by Glenn Manton.
So North trailing by some 17 points at one stage in the first quarter, hitting back now and leading by 9. They go up towards centre wing. Mackay, a chance for Carlton. Drifts it wide to Scott Camporelli, who kicks to right half forward. Too wide for Madden. And a throw-in to take place. So he likes Camporelli.
Well, it sounds feasible, doesn't it?
Sounds great the way you say it. There's the throw-in. Madden again with Roberts. Over the back is Wayne Schwass with a double-fisted belt. Here's a chance for Hickmott. Long in towards Kernahan, who tried to palm down in front. He was caught behind. Storming through was Carey. Gives it wider to Schwass. He gets the hand pass away to Roberts. He looks down towards the centre. Here's a chance for North. Oh, cruel bounce. Freeborn gives it away towards Stevens. Ripped off the ball as he took the kick. Meets the 50-metre line. Listen to Kane steaming out. Gives it across towards Rock, who finds Archer. Another one is across to Blakey. Blakey is 25 out. He shoots towards goal and puts it through.
Well, I think we've got one duel here that John Blakey, of course, is matching up Anthony Koutafidis, but he's certainly not, he's prepared to leave him. He got forward. Either bad bounce, Blakey would have got it the first time, but eventually he's kept pushing forward, and on that duel, Blakey's just been a little bit better than Koutafidis, and really North are going pretty well. Established a nice little break.
Christou is onto the ground at the expense of Clappe. The ball to be won in the centre. Williams has got it, but he's vigorously tackled, going nowhere. And the umpire will be forced to bounce it once again. So a 32-point turnaround from about halfway through the first quarter. North Melbourne now lead by 15 points. Chance to get clear. Stevens. Williams gets the crumbs. Hand passes it to the advantage there of Bradley. In turn, Christou. Go for goal, Ange. He kicks to a vacant goal square. It bounces and hits the post. So just a little bit down in confidence, Ange Christou. He had the path there to bomb it through and hits the post. So post is a square at this stage. King to bring it back in. It's not a bad kick either. He finds Blakey. His hand pass wide to Schwass. Schwass onto his left foot. Kicks it beautifully too, in towards centre half forward. Marking contest. Oh, the crumb gatherer was Glenn Archer. He goes for goal, and North Melbourne have got another one on the scoreboard. Brilliant gather by Archer at half forward. North Melbourne fans are delighted. So is their vice-captain Wayne Schwass, and they lead by 21 points.
I think what we're seeing here basically is the Carlton players all had eyes for the ball, but unfortunately they spoiled each other, and Archer ended up being the ground level player. There's a saying, a defender can only fly if his opponent's already flying or he's sure of a third up mark, and Mackay was up, Archer was down, he got the crumb and he kicked the goal.
Dangerous time for Carlton. 20 points the margin. They've got to try and stem the flow. McKernan wins it, taken by Koutafidis. Off to Madden. Sidesteps nicely, then tumbles a left foot kick towards Rice. He slipped at the critical time, and King, his opponent, takes the mark. Goes towards Rock on the outer side, and he's got a bit of room. A chip over the top's okay to McKernan. He's on centre wing. Onto the left foot. Koutafidis is there. Sexton is also there. He takes a fine mark, but Koutafidis is going to get the free kick for being shoved out illegally. Been pretty quiet so far, Kuta. 3 kicks, 4 hand passes. Went towards Williams. Oh, he did it beautifully too at the second attempt. Caught one high as he ducked, but he's going to get a free kick.
I tell you what, he plays the umpires beautifully, Greg Williams, doesn't he?
Yes, I thought Anderson went at it a bit quick, really. I mean, when an opponent's over the ball, you've got to really just be a little bit careful and not go falling all over the top of them, as he did then.
So Williams with his 4th kick for the night. Passes beautifully to Rice, who's dropped it. Carey defends to King. Oh, he's given it straight back to Rice. Danger here. Kernahan leaves it for his teammate. And now they lock it up on the 50.
I don't know about you, but I think Wayne Carey looks a bit shaky at centre-half back. On 3 or 4 occasions he's sort of got the ball or hasn't reacted quickly enough, I wouldn't have thought.
Madden off and Heaver on for Carlton.
Yeah, a bit of respect.
I would think Koutafidis must be in the ruck now.
Yeah, a bit of respect for the mobility of McKernan there, you would think. King, dispossessed by Bradley. Handball, should get a goal, Kernahan, and he does. It's his 3rd. So to say that that was a badly needed goal for Carlton would be the understatement of the evening so far. They lead, North Melbourne lead 53 to 39.
It's just an interesting move to put Koutafidis into the ruck. I think there's much to do with the fact that Blakey is probably doing a little bit better than Koutafidis, and now it's going to be a really tough matchup for North Melbourne if Koutafidis is the designated ruckman.
So Carlton claw their way back. Kernahan with 3. McKernan back in the middle. Koutafidis doing the ruck work, but it's a cruel bounce for him. A good one for McKernan and Simpson. The ladder towards Roberts and co. Maybe a lack of talking. Roberts listened at the bottom. Silvani gets it out towards Sexton, off to McKay. Is good football. Wider to Robbo's mate. He tries to flick it back in, but runs out of room.
You'd prefer that I'd drop off the correct pronunciation of his name?
No, I'm happy. Enjoying Friday night football on 7, and I hope you are too, wherever you may be watching. McKernan tries to get away. In the end, it's locked up by his teammate, Matty Armstrong, at the bottom of the pack. Been on and off the bench a little bit, Armstrong. There's Hickmott wearing number 9 for Carlton. North go down towards Archer again, and there's such a strong body. He's a power-packed dynamo, this boy. He's tucked in the pocket.
So North would be pretty pleased he started to get a bit of the ball on Mackay.
He's kicked 2 in this quarter, and that's dangerous too. He's now kicked 3 for the quarter. They've got the answers, Lee, at the moment.
Yes, they have. I think North have been pretty good again. Carlton seem to be scoring too easily when they go forward, but North are the ones that are making the majority of the play. I'll be really interested to see what happens in the centre bounces here and whether Blakey tries to stay with Koutafidis or McKernan. Interesting tactical battle going on out there.
So Koutafidis now to go with McKernan. Down to Blakey, missed it. Heaver, handball over the top. Capariali, Sexton there for Carlton. Ben Sexton, he's kicked the full forward. Kernahan from behind. Rice still can't get that clean possession. Laidley to King, and the North Melbourne defence stands up under a little bit of pressure there. Rock's handball over the top. Scott didn't have to change his stride. The hand pass was a beauty. Scott's kick towards half forward. Up the high was Koutafidis, couldn't take the mark. Gatherers by Armstrong. He hooks the kick to centre half forward. Punched away by DeJulio. Gathered by Archer. The kick smothered off the boot. North Melbourne, Eric Lissenden goes for his 2nd goal. And maybe just the tempo of the game affecting Eric Lissenden's kick there. He misses to the left. 1 goal, 1 to his name. And the margin is 21 points in favour of North Melbourne.
With just over 10 minutes remaining in this first half. The Williams lead ignored, the Hannah lead for the moment ignored. Now he comes back towards Hannah and Koutafidis. Simpson was the spoiler, straight down to Stevens. Stevens in towards goal. Silvani, fearless as always, comes over the top, but it had rammed into the post. It's a behind. What a player he's been for Carlton. The Silvani name living on. 202 games for Stephen, and he hasn't missed one this season. But he's chasing Father Serge's number of games. He's not all that far away. Hickmott goes over the top to Heaver. A wide one to Williams. Back to Heaver again. Carlton out of trouble. He gets the call inside from Bradley. Craig Bradley has a look over the middle. In towards Rice territory at half forward. Brown is also there. Rice at the back takes a beauty. Kernahan leads into the pocket. Martin is there with him. Who's going to be first to recover? It's Mickey. Towards the boundary line. He keeps it in play, but only as far as Robert Scott.
You talk about tempo. Dean Rice has been out of it a little bit, and a couple of times he's touched the ball, dropped marks that maybe he could have taken, and on that occasion maybe could have nearly gone for goal. The pass for Kernahan was pretty ordinary. Scott, Laidley, North Melbourne through Schwass, close to the boundary line. He really is a Fred Astaire, isn't he? Wayne Schwass just ducks and weaves with that footwork and gets out of strife. The ball back to the middle of the ground. Manton dragged to the ground. He now has Archer. The handball for Ratton. Ratton's kick across the half-forward line, but getting back and taking a good mark is Simpson. He plays on quickly. He's been allowed to. He looked back at the umpire, got the all clear. The kick to half-forward. It beats all players there. Back goes Koutafidis. Rebounding into the centre. Heaver, handball over the top. Ben Sexton ran straight through the tackle, then goes with the right foot. Long. Oh, it's a goal here, surely, isn't it? It's bounced through. It's a goal kicked by Ben Sexton.
I think Stephen Kernahan had that interesting thought there to try and mark it and let it go, and I think when it went over his head, first of all he thought it was going to go through for a behind, but it is a rebound game of football really. Plenty of space in the midfield as it comes out of the opposition defence, and good long kick by Sexton. Again, have a look at Kernahan, wasn't sure whether to mark it, leave it, and I think it took a U-turn almost to bounce through for a goal.
Ben Sexton gets his first goal for the season, and Carlton continue to come back as Pagan ponders. Incidentally, Carlton have made a change. Rice is off and Brad Pearce gets a run at last. Schwass kicks to half forward. Can North now answer once more down towards Archer and Manton. Together they lock it up and we'll find ourselves with a bounce. Eight minutes remaining in the first half, and it's been a big game so far. McKernan goes straight down the throat of Bradley. He goes towards half forward. That's Williams' territory. Heaver ripped off the ball, but look at him recover. Beautifully done to Brown. 55 metres out is Fraser, and in two minds. Eventually goes towards Kernahan, but not quite far enough. Now it's back there with him, but Stevens intercepts. He gives it to King, and he's away to Roberts. North out of trouble. Roberts looks across the centre and then immediately gives it back to Bradley. He finds Koutafidis. Carlton are challenging. Kouta's a poor kick. Straight down the throat of Schwass. Wayne Schwass passes into the middle. It's okay. He finds Blakey. Back to Schwatter. He's looking for a big game tonight. He tumbles the punt kick down to half forward. McKay smothers it. Hickmott gets the hand pass out. Silvani will give it away towards Bradley. Craig Bradley goes over the top towards McKay. He fires a long one towards Christou. Ange is on the run. He'll woof it to the forward line. Badly.
Gee, two terrible kicks by two of their key players, Koutafidis and Christou, within the space of a couple of seconds. McKay's handball along the line bounces out in front of Hannah.
I think this Koutafidis move onto the ball's been good for Carlton. All of a sudden he's got a bit of space off Blakey. Blakey's still trying to pick him up, but Koutafidis is sort of going with Roberts, so it's been a good move for Carlton.
Doing the ruck work of the two players mentioned by Lee Matthews. Hickmott tries to get it clear, unsuccessful, goes back after it again. Handball high. Ratton He's got the football and got his left foot to it, which cleared the congestion. Now North Melbourne from right half back through Blakey. His kick has been marked by Bradley. So the pressure on the players kicking the football has been enormous. 13 possessions to Bradley. 6 minutes left in the second term. He runs on and then kicks it long in towards centre half forward. Kernahan at the back. Just gets in the road. The ball rebounds here for Christou. He's smothered as he gathered the football, and that player is too. Brown on Bell, and the tackle was too high.
Just come onto the ground, Robert.
And he's got the free kick. His kick goes to Roberts.
He's almost down to centre wing. Is North making multiple changes from the bench? To half forward. Dwyer is another one. With him is McKay, and it's over.
And Wayne Carey up to centre half forward, which I think was only a matter of time, really. I think North needed him in that part of the ground. And as I said, I thought he's just looked a little bit unsafe, if that's the word, at centre half back anyway.
Danilchenko and Armstrong, two players being rested at the moment. McKernan can't get an effective kick. Eventually has to try and chip towards Rock. He loses it to Hickmott. DiLulio hurriedly onto the left boot towards Hannah. Used the body well and doubles it. Big Mill on the comeback trail. Heavers at the back. So too Fairley and Anderson and Blakey. Ratton's got Blakey. Rice is preparing to come back out onto the ground. There are runners going everywhere at the moment. And considerable confusion, I think, on the ground. 5 minutes remaining. An important 5-2. Roberts towards Brown. It ricochets away from his boot over the line.
Yeah, there's been a lot of moves made in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and you can be certain there's a few players out there who are not totally certain who their direct opponent is. It's a matter of counting the numbers, making sure one's covered.
Koutafidis and McKernan again. Laidley. Hand pass was partly smothered. Eventually it was Anderson who got it out towards Roberts. He tumbles it towards Archer. Beautifully controlled. McKay could have been holding on. He was, said the umpire. And Glenn Archer's had a fabulous quarter. Sees Bell take advantage to Carey. Not paid. Heaver will clear. It opens the door for Carlton, although DiLulio overruns it. He goes back again. Kicks blindly. Bradley puts his hands up in the air as if to say, I was here. But it's too far over his head and taken by Robert Scott into the middle. Look out, here comes Brown. She's warming up now. Brown claimed by Roberts, but he gets his kick under pressure. Shoved back again towards Heaver. He runs into trouble, loses the football, almost lost something else. Roberts across the middle, into half forward. Archer will float in at the back. Can he get there in time? McKay sees it over the line.
Seems to be a lot of blind kicking. Carlton have seemed to trying to play North Melbourne's game, coming on half back and blasting it into the forward 50. There's a lot of players in between that are unmanned that have the ball's been basically kicked straight over their head.
Williams on the sideline also. But a lot of pressure out there. A lot at stake in this game. DiLulio to clear for Carlton.
And he does well, but then kicks poorly, gives McKernan the sit, and McKernan will be paid the mark. Another ill-directed kick coming out of the back line. McKernan to pump it back for North Melbourne. His kick goes in towards centre half forward. Sexton at the back, big punch. Gatherers by Campariali. His kick towards the centre half forward area. Oh, Martin this time knocked it away from Kernahan. Gathered by Rice. Handball not bad for Ratton. Ratton's kick into the pocket. Way out in front of Pearce. Can Pearce get around onto his left side? He can. He's kicked towards full forward. Kernahan, he's got it. No, he's not paid.
Touched off the boot, Robbo, I think.
Still at full forward for Carlton. Martin gets it to Anderson. Anderson under a bit of pressure, but he's able to direct the kick very nicely to Blakey.
He's on half back. Plays on now. Goes back into the middle towards Laidley. Gets away from Rice and goes across to Stevens. He bounces his way through the centre. Down towards that forward line where Archer's been potent this quarter. Off hands it comes. Rock applies the tackle. DiLulio's hurt. Ronnie's hurt behind play as Camparelli sees it almost spin over the line. A nice little spin by him. He keeps it in, goes towards Bradley and Brown. Bradley almost kicking in danger.
Gee, that was lucky.
Brown plays on to Sexton. DiLulio's hurt behind play. He kicks down towards Kernahan and Martin. Martin this time in front, paddling the ball along. Loses it now. Heaver's a chance for Carlton. He's 52 metres out. The only one back there is Schwass. He's got plenty of time. Straightens up now. Draws the player. And then bounces his way through half-back. A flat-looking helicopter puck lands on the chest of Hickmott.
Gee, it was an ordinary kick by Wayne Schwass standards, wasn't it? And just
it's like every player on the ground wants to kick the ball 80 metres. They just all want to kick it full distance instead of directing the kick.
Hickmott's kick. Christou, handball, looks for Ratton. He's caught. Very well caught. Gang tackle. Christou gathers the awkward ball and then hooks the kick in towards full forward. Martin and Kernahan. The ball spills to the ground. Laidley's little kick will find safety within the 50-metre area for Carlton, but boundary throw in. Dean Laidley, his job on Dean Rice. Left forward pocket for the Blues. They trail by 16 points. Rice, handball out. Brown didn't quite go far enough. He was looking for Hannah, and it's not clear in the finish by McKernan for a boundary throw-in. It's now nearly up to the wing. So North Melbourne temporarily out of strife. Bradley and Schwass in the picture. Wayne Schwass, 14 possessions. Craig Bradley, 14 possessions. Terrific battle by two of the game's great players. And Koutafidis and McKernan go at it. Gets the ball out, does Koutafidis. Hickmott, his kick will land with the Blues, and the mark is taken by Pearce. Is he going to get... No, he won't get 50 metres because I think the Carlton player was nearly falling as he took the mark.
I think so, but we saw the great advantage that Pearce have when he gets a yard on his direct opponent and the ball's out in front. He's just so quick, the defender can't pick him up. And you'll see it here. He had a slight break, but just his speed off the mark, they just can't get to him.
Gee, important replacement here. Bradley off the ground. Looks as though he may have pulled a muscle at the front of his thigh. As Pearce goes for goal, he's hooked the kick. And when the Blues needed a goal, it was not happening for Brad Pearce. He's kicked it behind. We have a look there at Bradley being looked at by the doctor.
It's when he kicked the ball and over that outer side there, and someone may have just slightly stretched the back of his knee there.
Fair interchange. Greg Williams coming back out onto the ground. With under a minute though remaining. So very important now. As Freeborn takes it on half-back. Just pops it over the top. May have to go back. Robert Scott had taken the mark, but
I think the umpire paid the free kick before the mark. That's why he's getting Scott back.
So now he's away. Robert Scott to centre wing. Fist down in front goes towards Hickmott, taken by Camporelli. Round his body towards Williams, but in front of him was Fairley. Read it better.
A good mark.
Did well as he kicks towards Blakey, and that's a fine grab too. In front of Ratton. Here's another number 7, Dean Laidley, to half forward. North wanted a mark then because there's only 8 seconds remaining. Koutafidis now will go into the middle. Heaver must kick long and hope for a mark. Time, I think, is going to beat him. He goes short to Williams. 85 metres out. And Christou is too far, and he's beaten for time. So, half-time here at the MCG on Friday Night Football. Coming your way on 7 Sport. Another big quarter. A quarter, though, this time belonging to North Melbourne. They booted 5 goals 2 and restricted Carlton to 3 goals 2. Their main contributor was Glenn Archer. He booted 3 for the quarter, as Scott McLaren has a few words to Sticks Kernahan, or vice versa. There's Glenn Archer, 3 goals for the quarter. Stevens goes down to say well done to him. Now Dipper's a report from the boundary line. What have you got, Dipper?
Well, Sam, the good news is for Carlton supporters that Craig Bradley's okay. He's just jarred his knee, and we expect him to play in the second half. Well, that is good news for Carlton supporters. There goes Braddles. Seems to be walking okay. That's good news. Half-time. North Melbourne 9-7-61. Carlton 7-4. 40. Feedies is on Blakey as we go into the second half. Friday Night Football. Madden back on the ball.
Rock gets a short kick down towards Archer, the damaging player in that second term with 3 goals. Brown caught by Archer. The ball spills free. Bradley's hand pass smothered. Hickmott gets a hurried high kick. Over the middle he goes, and a fine mark taken by Fairley. Swings play wide to the wing. A chance for Rock. And he does. Up towards Roberts, who marks at the back. Well, the lead at the moment is 15 points. He comes over the top of Sexton, and if he gets onto it, can stretch it to 21 points. Kicked 1 goal, that was in the second quarter. He's already had 9 kicks, taken a couple of marks. Short pass is okay. Now Blakey has sent Robbo talking when he has a shot at goal. He kicked 1 in the second term. Distance has tested him a couple of times. I think he hit the woodwork once.
He'll get the distance, Sandy.
He's kicking from 51 metres.
No.
Oh, you're a ripper, you are, Robbo. Into the pocket and over the line for a throw-in.
I like to count how many times players have a shot from the 50-metre line, how many times they kick goals. It's not too many. It's very hard to kick the ball accurately over 50 metres consistently.
Madden pushes it down in front again. Bell is at the bottom, and Hickmott with him. He started on the bench, Peter Bell, having his 14th game. Speaking of 14, here's Mark Nash putting it back into play, and a free kick is going against Carlton to be taken by Carey in the pocket. Move to full forward, Wayne Carey. Right on the boundary line. Kicking over big Justin Madden. Coming into this game with 39 goals and 25 behind. Kicking from 40 metres. An important kick. And it goes across the face. And in fact, out of bounds on the forward. There's the free kick.
Well, awarded against Justin Madden, obviously, because he grabbed hold of Carey's jumper in that ruck contest. Manton to kick the ball back in for the Blues. He gets it outside 50. Oh, up high was Koutafidis. The ball spills now for Rock. The hand pass goes back to Schwass. Schwass across his right shoulder to the 50-metre line. Very good defensive work provided there by DeJulio. He's tied up, couldn't get clear, and the umpire will bounce 50 metres from North Melbourne's goal. Very important for the Blues here. North Melbourne leading by 15 points at the start of the third quarter. The ball down at Sexton's feet. Roberts didn't have the football. Umpire allowed play to go on. You couldn't believe it, could you? Hickmott to Brown, to Bradley. Bradley's kick is a bit of an up and under. Lands close to the line in front of Camporeale. And we'll have a boundary throw in on centre wing.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that Roberts didn't get a free kick. I mean, everyone in the stadium saw he was held for about 5 seconds. Except the umpire, that's the one that mattered.
Ruck contest, Madden down to Brown. Brown to no one in particular. And he's just apologising there off the camera picture. Wayne Schwass being spoken to by the North Melbourne runner. And the ruckman to go at it once again. Now they're locking arms, but it's taken away by Koutafidis quite spectacularly to Ratton. Ratton with a little bit of space is able to get his right foot to it, to Ben Sexton. Down into the path there of Christou. Handball to Brown. Brown goes to Ben Sexton. Can he get his second goal? Important kick. He's missed. Dean Rice in the pocket on his own, but Ben Sexton went for goal. 1 goal, 1. To Ben Sexton, margin 14 points in favour of the Kangaroos.
King brings it back into play, and he just pushes it straight down the middle to Blakey. No one on the mark, so he goes long up over centre wing towards Archer. He's got a good pair of hands. Takes his third mark. Goes to half forward. Carey the target, the meat in the sandwich. The scouting is good. Oh, the kick's a beauty. North have the answers at the moment. And gets his first, and North Melbourne's 10th.
And it started from what is a dangerous kicking the ball down the middle from full back. He's a little bit dangerous, but North got away from it. Onto Archer it was, and then really good contest by Carey, but really a good crumbing position by Bell. Front position, that's where most of the balls fall off the marking contest. He got there, and a good left foot finish.
Peter Bell gets his first goal for the night, his 11th for the season, and North continue to hold sway, but Madden rips out of the middle, down towards Rice at half forward. Couldn't hold the mark. King showing close attention to him. Martin going close to the boundary line and over. In Carlton's left forward pocket. Again, looking down the barrel at a 20-point deficit. Rock hurriedly gets boot to ball. Kicks towards half-back, and Hickmott floats across the top to take a good mark. Pushes back in towards the forward zone again. They're all over the top, and a free kick has been picked out of it. It's going to go the way of North Melbourne. It might be Mickey Martin on the last line of defence. He goes short to half-back, and Freeborn was going to be paid the football.
Well, if it wasn't a mark, it certainly was a free kick against Brown. 7 hand passes just to Glenn Freeborn. That's his first kick. His kick will land close to the wing. At the back, Hannah. Desperate stuff shown again by Archer. He is a man on a mission, Glenn Archer. North Melbourne are going to get a free kick here. You can soon see when the umpire dashes in emphatically as he did there. David Howlett, and gave the free kick to Anthony Stevens. The Blues pushing it out on purpose. McKernan runs away from Madden and then kicks with good penetration towards the full forward area. Bell breaks the tackle. Left foot snap by Bell. Roberts. Oh, goal, no. Brilliant smother by Silvani off Carey. It's still going to go over. Carey to the goal front. Roberts. Who's kicked it? Roberts has got a goal. He's kicked it 6 inches.
Incredible.
Well, it's a slight exaggeration coming back, but it only went about a foot and a half.
I don't think it was an exaggeration. It was about 6 inches. This was just amazing, wasn't it? It looked like North were going to get it. Looked like Carlton were going to get it. Looked like it was going to be behind. Great play by Carey, and then all of a sudden, just the tip of the toe. Game of inches, isn't it, football?
One of our co-commentators would say centimetre perfect. So this is danger signs now for Carlton. Brown at the bottom. Can't get clear. Push towards centre wing. North come charging forward again through Wayne Schwass. Slips, but has time to recover. Goes back towards Rock. He's still on the wing. He'll go back to Schwass. They're looking to set it up. He can drift it into the centre. That's okay. Finds Fairley. The Williamstown fisherman goes across the ground. There is David King, who drifted down. He's clear on half-back. Gets around Rice. Goes over the centre. It's a long kick up towards Archer. McKay there also. Spoils this time. Hickmott gives the hand pass away to Bradley from a standing start. He pumps it over the middle, but straight to King. Again, plenty of time. It's good to Blakey. He's in the middle of the ground. He gives the hand pass away to Schwatter. He might kick this. 55 out. No, he hooks it for Carey to fly and beat a couple. Play on. They do. That's off target.
That's a mark.
It's going to bring it back. Mark Nash has brought it back.
Now that was a great mark. He was caught between two players, but he was able to get purchase on the ball. He controlled the ball. It was just a really strong mark. The type of goal that Carey, Carey hasn't been in the play much at this point, and he's the icing on the cake for North. If he can start marking the ball within 25 metres of goal, they're really going to be hard to catch.
And if he kicks this, it could go a long way to breaking a little bit of the Carlton spirit.
32 points would be too great for the Blues to get back.
Well, they love him at Arden Street, and well they may. He is an out-and-out champion. From 40 metres, he kicks for goal. Oh, North the clear.
Well, there's one thing that North Melbourne do. They always play inside football, which means when they come off half-back, they'll try to come back inside to the centre square. They won't go out to the wings. And the long kicking game is starting to work for them a little bit now because, well, Carey's started to mark the ball. Archer marked it for them in the second quarter, and they're on top all over the ground at the moment.
Carlton have only managed 3 goals since early in the first quarter. Sexton dispossessed. Well done there by Scott. Then Laidley. Out for Blakey, nearly BOG Blakey. He's played a terrific game. Handball down the wing, Rock. Fairley, he's been pretty good since coming off the bench too. Stevens, left half forward. Not too many bad North Melbourne players. The kick to half forward. Chance for Archer, handball over the top. They've had all these possessions and the Blues haven't got their hands on it. Kick forward by Scott. Roberts couldn't take the mark. Sexton, it bounces on his head. And eventually he gives away a behind. Probably a safety first. 12-8 to 7-5. And Ben Sexton having a spell on the bench. Rondulio to kick it back in. Pearce is on the ground for the Blues. The kick in finds Hannah. 7 kicks and 1 hand pass to Hannah. He's deep in enemy territory. He kicks a wobbly punt kick back towards the 50-metre line. Ratton. Archer. Geez, fierce, isn't he? Look at the North Melbourne fans jump in the air. They know it's a free kick to their team. And it'll be taken out there by Simpson. Simpson's kicking towards centre-half forward. Sexton in front. Good mark. Excellent mark taken by Michael Sexton. Looking for the advantage for the Blues down the ground. Nothing really, so he's got to kick it to a one-on-one out on the wing. Rice at the back, gathers, hand passes to no one really. Blakey dragged off the football by Koutafidis. Can he run away? Gives it to Rice. Rice squeezes a kick down the wing. The race is on now. Knocked away there from Capariali. Ratton, back goes Capariali. He's dragged to the ground.
And I think you'll find Koutafidis has gone to centre-half forward. Sexton off, Koutafidis to centre-half forward, and Pearce into the full forward line for Carlton.
Worrying times for David Parkin in his 250th game as coach for Carlton. Madden towards half forward, but it's goals they want at the moment, and it is the North defence that is proving miserly. So often it has been Carlton's trademark. Over the top of Heaver, tries to give it to Christou. Back again he goes to Hickmon. Short little pass in towards half forward is better. He finds Bradley directly in front and 40 out. Craig Bradley came into this game with 10 goals, 7 to his name. Kicked 1 in the first quarter, and now as a result of that pass and mark has a chance to kick a much-needed goal for the Blues.
And he is one of those players you'd back from 40 metres on 9 out of 10 occasions.
Yeah.
Doesn't miss very often.
Here's the kick from Bradley. It's a drop putt, but he's had to go for distance, and in doing so has pulled it.
And that was a 1 out of 10, Sandy. Just the exception to the rule.
Yeah. Distance testing him, and Dennis Pagan looking somewhat less concerned than David Parkin at this stage of proceedings. 12-8, plays 7-6. Here's Camporelli off to Heaver, and now Brown. Carlton, another chance maybe for Bradley. Well, the odds that Lee this time will diminish.
If he kicks 9 out of 10, he's got to kick this one. He's had his 1 out of 10 miss.
Madden leaving the ground as I speak.
I think what we saw was the kick in too. The big punch back from the kick in created the opportunity.
Sexton back on. Bradley for goal. This time he kicks it. 2 to Craig Bradley. Carlton get 1 back. 12-8, plays 8-6.
I don't suspect he's running with absolute freedom, Craig Bradley. I mean, I just think he's got the slight hobble up there, but certainly it was good. That was the key. The punch back by Christou. It was a 3-on-1 marking contest for North Melbourne, and then once the ball goes back into the zone, there's a lot of unmarked zone players in the Carlton jumpers, and Bradley was the one who got used.
Good vision by Brown to get the ball to Bradley. Bradley attempted big punch. Hannah got a hold of it, but only as far as Schwass. Schwass back onto his favoured left foot. Kicks into it. Oh, it's a beautiful kick. A terrific kick to the advantage of Carey.
That inside football I was talking about, they always look to come back inside to the centre corridor, North Melbourne. They very rarely are forced wide to kick the flanks and pockets. They'll always come back inside.
Well, it really did advantage the North Melbourne captain. Silvani did all he could to try and spoil Wayne Carey. But Carey kicking for his second goal. But more importantly, a quick answer for North Melbourne from the Bradley goal. Carey from 45 metres. Kicks. Oh, the kick is magnificent. It's a goal. Second goal to Wayne Carey. And John Longmire. Poker face, John Longmire. North Melbourne lead by 32 points once again.
I think I mentioned half-time. If Wayne Carey starts marking the ball inside the 50-metre area, that's really going to make it tough for Carlton. He started to do that. Interesting move just been made. Peter Baloff, Eric Lissenden on. They'll always do that, North Melbourne. Take off a small bloke, put on a big bloke, try and unbalance the opposition defence.
Roos at the moment answering every Carlton challenge. McKernan, Heaver, McKernan, a kick out of the middle. It's high and it's to the half-forward line. Silvani will defend. Or try to. Couldn't quite go over the top of Roberts with a kick, so he tried the punch. That worked. But not the full distance. Simpson kicks it into Roberts. He's tucked in the boundary line. A very tight angle for Mark Roberts. He's kicked 18 goals for the season. Kicking from 43 metres. A high drop punt. It's a good looking kick. Right into the square, then belted over after ricocheting off the woodwork from behind.
Interesting setup at the moment. I've got a feeling Ange Christo is the closest thing Carlton have got to a ruckman. Koutafidis is playing centre half forward and doing the ruck work at the centre bounces. But either Christo or Sexton. Maybe Sexton is the designated ruckman.
Goes short to Heaver. Silvani bringing it back in. Heaver just drifts it into the back pocket and finds McKay. Up towards the half-back flank. The most options covered for Carlton. Sexton. We'll have a look down towards centre wing. Big pack of players. And a fine mark taken by those magical hands belonging to Koutafidis.
On his third mark, Sandy.
Yeah. Uncharacteristic. To half forward. Bradley scouting. Wobbles it in towards Kernahan. He can't leave this one. He needs help. It comes to Martin and Nicky's away. Catch me if you can, he says. They won't. He comes to half back and finds Freeborn, who looks towards centre wing. Danilchenko is there. Carey's at the back. Play on, and he does. Off he goes to the running Stevens, who spears a worm burner into the forward line. And it's a free kick. Holding on. And it's going to go the way of North Melbourne. It'll be taken by the young man who's just come back onto the ground, Eric Lissenden. A late inclusion at the expense of Darren Crocker, who pulled out with a hamstring. A chance now to cover himself in glory from 44 metres. It's swinging back, it's into the square, and it's into the post for another behind. But it's all North Melbourne. 13-10 plays 8-6. 4 goals to 1 in this quarter.
Well, you wonder where the Blues are going to get their goals from. They seem to be able to get it up there to the half-forward line, but they've only managed to kick 1 goal so far in this third term. It's still in their danger zone. Stevens dragged down to the ground by DeJulio, and DeJulio will take the free kick at centre half back. You will get the football eventually, and he's able to kick it short and find Heaver. Heaver to run from centre half back. Kicks towards centre half forward. Looks for Kernahan. The ball spills to the ground. Fraser Brown shrugs the tackle, spins out of trouble. Not quite far enough. Koutafidis somehow got away and then kicked it across the line where it's been marked by Ange Christou, and he is within scoring distance. 13-10 to 8-6. Margin 34 points in favour of North Melbourne. We've got 6 minutes left in the third term and the last quarter to go. Christou from 50 metres. Just from 2 strides, misses quite convincingly in the finish. Kicks his second behind for the game.
Interesting defensive matchup there. Actually, Mickey Martin's over onto Pearce because North have kept Blakey at centre-half back to keep the matchup with Kudafidi. So it's an unusual matchup, that one, Martin on Pearce.
David King has played every game this season. Goes short looking for Fairley. Brown may make him pay as Ange has another go. And this time he's to the right. Three behinds to Christou. 8 to Carlton. 8-8 plays 13-10.
They haven't been able to kick a succession of goals, whereas North Melbourne, since about halfway through the first term, have done very nicely.
No, they started well, leading 4 in that first, particularly the first half of the first quarter. Since then, all North. McKernan. Slightly off the side of the boot. Doesn't matter. North have the numbers. At the back is Anderson. Oh, he gets clear. He's 40 metres out. He shoots towards goal and has popped through another one. Stuart Anderson came into this game having kicked only 5 for the season, and he's got his first for the night.
Well, yeah, it was really good play by North. They're really having trouble in this ruck position, and in fact, we've been trying to work out who the Carlton ruckman is. It's Glenn Manton, and I think he's going to do the centre bounce against Corey McKernan. Well, that's a very bad matchup for Carlton, but maybe the best they got. I'm not sure what's going on with Justin Madden. That's what happens.
McKernan took the advantage there of a height. Schwass from Carey. Schwass goes for goal. He's hooked the kick right onto the line, and it's through for 1 behind.
Is that what happens when you don't have a ruckman in the centre square, or a recognised ruckman?
Wayne Schwass, 15 kicks, 5 hand passes and 4 marks. A big night.
Big gap in the game now. 39 points. The kick in. Camporeale. His left foot kick is pretty well up and under. Sexton goes for it. Couldn't take the mark. Stevens and Bradley. Ratton. Oh, Stevens was important there. Just got a hand to it to stop Ratton from breaking away. Bradley was nearly on the receiving end of the hand pass, but well done by Anthony Stevens. Umpire to bounce on centre wing. North Melbourne have kicked 5 goals to just 1 goal to the Blues so far in the third term. Sexton grabbed by Roberts, but he's able to get clear. Handballs it wide to Bradley. Bradley just kicks and hopes in towards the centre of the ground. It's going to break down because a terrific mark taken by Blakey. He was attended to by Kudafidis, but he took the mark, got the hand pass away. Not allowed. Go back and kick over the man on the mark. Gives it to now Dean Laidley. Laidley gets back onto his right foot, squeezes the kick out towards centre half forward. From behind Anderson, a big fly. Gathered by Stevens, it wasn't. Brown got rid of him. Still the ball there. Ratton underneath. Can't break clear. Blues make a change. Hanner off, and Williams back onto the ground.
Actually, that ruck position for Carlton, Matty Allen, the backup ruckman for Carlton's been in. Was left out of the team this week. Normally, he's been a backup ruckman for Madden, but not tonight.
On the 50, North relentless. Danilchenko, a hurried kick down towards the forward line once again, towards Lissenden, away from him in the boundary line, and taken over. Was it on the full? Where did it hit Fraser Brown? No, a little too high up on the body. So a throw-in in left forward pocket. North looking to stamp their authority at the top of the premiership table and clear. Just maybe it will help erase the memory of that preliminary final last year.
Oh, nothing will do that, will it?
No, you can't make up for lost time.
I'll get that back. Manton in the ruck. Dipper, what do you think of these ruck moves?
Yes, Stanley, from down here, it's a fast-moving game. It's not a stop-and-start game. That's probably why you've seen Justin Madden off the ground.
into the pocket and beating Scott Camberelli over the line.
I think, frankly, it's just a case of Corey McKernan is a very good player.
Manton tries. Archer ending one back. Oh, confusion. And eventually Carlton, through Craig Bradley, conceded behind.
Too tall for a mobile player, McKernan, and too mobile for a tall player in Madden. That's about what it boils down to, I think.
Listened off McKernan. And Bradley brings it back into play. Manton heads to the outer side. Look out, because Glenn Archer's there and he's dangerous. But it's a free kick. Glenn Archer will take it. Had to cop one in the eye to half forward. Or Silvani over the back. Was a big spoiler. Schwass takes the mark. Danger here. They've got players loose everywhere. It's becoming too easy. Freeborn. Yes! Glenn Freeborn gets his first for the night. And North are on the rampage.
And I think we might say that North have broken the bogey. They haven't won the game just yet, but I think they've really, tonight, just worn Carlton down after Carlton got that good start. And all of a sudden, Carlton just haven't got winners anywhere. Craig Bradley's still trying hard, but that midfield of Carlton that's a bit slow is getting found out tonight.
So the ball at right half forward for Carlton. A free kick has been picked out. King was the recipient. His hand pass found Schwass across the half back line, and the mark is taken out there by Robert Scott. Scott gets the hand pass to Schwass. The dancing man, Blakey, back to Scott, runs through the lines beautifully. Martin has come a long way down. He's positive football. He's kicked towards the half forward area, knocked away by D'Ulio. He's hacked it out of mid-air. It spins awkwardly back towards the North Melbourne goal. Carey tries to feed it through his legs. Doesn't really succeed all that well. And Hickmott locks it up for the Blues.
Just thinking, Robbo, when Carlton last copped a bit of a hiding like this, and you've probably got to go back to Sydney last year. But it's not over yet.
46 points now.
And under a minute remaining in this third quarter.
It's amazing when you trail dismally like the Blues do at the moment, how tired and slow they look.
Yes, well, I think that's their Achilles heel even when they're playing well, and I think just North tonight have been good enough to basically exploit it completely.
Here's Rice to Hickmott. In fact, we talk about them getting cleaned up by Sydney. I think the following week St Kilda did a job on them. Pearce. Koutafidis caught. Hickmott round his body to half forward. No one at home to take the mark, and Rock lives up to his name. Wayne Schwass, one of the best on the ground, goes towards the centre of the ground. It's taken by Stuart Anderson. He was claimed high. He plays on towards the 50, towards Carey country. Sexton defends towards Bradley. Reclaims it, but then gets caught, ridden into the ground. The ball spills free. Anderson over the top. He wanted Scott, but it's Camberelli who gives it away. Kernahan, he threw it, he said. He threw it. But it won't matter because the siren will beat them.
And there was about 3 North Melbourne players queuing up in the forward 50.
Interesting to look at the free kicks in this game. 18 to North Melbourne, 6 to Carlton. As Craig Bradley hands on hips, and Dennis Pagan looking pretty calm. In the meantime, Blakey just asking the question of Mark Nash, asking for an explanation. Blakey, the veteran, gets it. He's been a fantastic player for North, and it has been all North Melbourne in the third quarter. David Parkin saying, look, this is the 250th game. What can we do? Well, they'll have time to ponder, because at three-quarter time, North Melbourne are in a commanding position. They are 15-12, 102. Carlton are 8-8, 56.
Absolute certainties, North End.
Final quarter. When I saw David Parker, he didn't look too calm and collected either. Ratton goes over the top. Brown gets a hurried kick up towards the half-forward line, towards Koutafidis. Again, North holding strong. Wayne Schwass gets yet another kick. It's number 18 as he goes to the outer side, picked up by Robert Scott. Flicks it back inside, but straight to Brown, who spoons it out. Simpson is there, but he can't take it. He leaves it for Roberts. They've got the numbers. Schwass again. This time he goes out of bounds on the full.
Well, that's one of the rare mistakes made by Wayne Schwass tonight.
Camporelli going short. Christie started on the bench with Pearce. Pearce is now on and in the forward line. Mickey Martin is on him at the moment. Rock has been sensational. Laidley defends. From the back pocket. Goes over the top. They can set up the loose man here. They've got players running everywhere. Stevens has picked up plenty. And he continues to surge forward to Wayne Carey. Irrepressible after being moved back down into the forward line.
I think there's one critical part of the Carlton side. Their midfield has to win the ball, because if they don't win the ball, they cannot or will not chase. And you saw Stevens there come out from midfield. The Carlton opponent, I think it's probably Brown at the moment. I'm not sure which one has scored 50 metres. Arias, very hard running midfield tonight. North Melbourne's found Carlton out.
Wayne Carey for his 42nd goal of the season. Kicking from 42 metres. He makes no mistake. Sailed straight through the middle. So it's becoming a bit of a rout for the reigning champions, I'm afraid. 16-12 plays 8-8. They copped a big beating from Fremantle earlier in the season, some 53 points.
And here we are, really, it was the inside again, cuts inside onto his left foot, Stevens. And then this is a pass, not just blazing the ball in long, getting it out in front, but still in that dangerous area, 25 metres out from goal, and a good really movement by Carey, and Silvani couldn't cover that. And pretty easy shot at goal in the end, which Carey certainly made it look easy enough.
Gee, a bit of body language there for Stephen Silvani too. I think he's looking a little despondent down there. Playing on Wayne Carey now. Carey with 3 goals, Archer with 3 for the Blues. Kernahan hasn't had many kicks, he's kicked 3. Rock somehow gets it to Stevens. Stevens kicked to half forward. Punched away by McKay, but gathered by Scott. Scott's kick is a wobbly punt kick to the line. Taken over for another rush behind to North Melbourne. By my scoreboard, that's 7 rush behinds that they've scored. The Blues bench at the moment, Clappe, Hannah and Ben Sexton. So only behinds kicked by Lissenden 2, and behind to Blakey, Archer, Robert Scott and Wayne Schwass. So they're kicking at goal hasn't been all that bad. This is Sexton for Carlton. His high kick out towards the wing. Koutafidis flies high, couldn't take the mark. Kick back by McKernan, but only as far as McKay over the top of Anthony Rock. Rock has been pretty good for North Melbourne. 14 kicks and 9 hand passes. McKay's kick in the Bradley direction. Knocked away by Anderson, gathered by DeUlio. Hand pass to Bradley, back to DeUlio. Short kick is good, and Kernahan is marked. In probably Carlton's best build-up since early in the first quarter. His kick across the half-forward line should be marked, and is by Brown. So North Melbourne, maybe, well, they were able to lose a little concentration there. They've been fantastic for most of the game. The Blues got away to a 17-point advantage early in the first quarter, but it's been all North Melbourne since then. Brown kicking for Carlton's 9th goal, just a little hesitant, and he hooks the kick through for 1 behind to Fraser Brown.
Well, the psychology of things, when you're down on the scoreboard, it's amazing how, I mean, it wasn't an easy shot at goal, but one that Brown would have kicked, I think, as often as he missed it, but he pulled that one.
Yes, it's been a long time between drinks, hasn't it, for goals for Carlton, as King brings it back into play. Madden gets the hand pass away to DeLulio, put him under a bit of pressure. Madden back towards Bradley again. Danilchenko intercepts, and it was too easy for Danilchenko to take away. Down to the half-forward line. Carey! Supreme! Just supreme as Clappe comes back onto the ground and Dean Rice hobbles off.
Well, again, this is the genuine one-on-one contest, and in the second half of the game, Carey's just been able to take a handful of them. Doesn't dominated the game, but he's going for his 4th goal, and Silvani's such a hard opponent.
All in the second half too. He won't get a goal out of that one. Onto the chest of Glenn Mann. It wobbles. He's got Bradley if he wants him. He heads towards Bradley. Couldn't quite take the mark. Laidley goes back towards Robert Scott and also Freeborn. Danilchenko is there at the bottom. Back to Freeborn again. It's good to Rock. Rock's been sensational. Here's Bell. Ring my chimes, he says, and he does. Peter Bell gets his second. Oh, they're into top gear now. 17-13 plays 8-9.
And Craig Bradley coming off the ground. That's an interesting, whether he's just that knee problem that he had a little bit earlier, but he's left the ground, but he's missed a couple of weeks as well, so maybe just to protect him now. But they finished strongly, North, and when they got the game by the scruff of the neck, they come home hard.
Free kick at the centre bounce to Justin Madden. He kicks forward. Umpire.
No.
Well, that is
50 now. Over the mark.
Because he indicated that the North Melbourne player standing on the mark with his hands just went over the mark.
Yeah.
I mean,
Protect.
well, to the nth degree. Gee, it's a big lead, isn't it? 58 points. Justin Madden can pull it back by 6 points with this kick. Sydney last year, 72 points over Carlton. St Kilda by 56. And Fremantle, the biggest defeat of the Blues this year, 53 points. Justin Madden, with the advantage of a 50-metre penalty, should kick a goal. He's right in front, and he threads it through. His first goal, Carlton's 9th. 17-13 to 9-9. 52 points is the margin in favour of the Kangaroos.
Again, he just ran over the mark in order to desperation time for Carlton. Stephen Silvani's actually been shifted into the forward line just to try and get something out of that part of the ground.
David Howlett puts the ball back into play. It's a difficult one from the centre. Rock tries to get it out, so too does Heaver. Stevens towards Laidley. Stevens says, I'll do it on my own, but he can't. Finally to Schwartz. Just about best on the ground tonight. He's been excellent. And here they go again. Laidley to half forward. McKernan, no one on him. Slews off the side of the boot. Belted down towards Camarelli. He couldn't take it. Neither could Hannah. North will get another chance through Anderson. Pops it into the middle over the top of Scott. Taken by McKernan. McKernan heads for home, just as North are doing. First goal to Corey in the 18th for the Roos, and they are lapping this up. 18-13 to 9-9.
And that's where it's hard, isn't it? Justin Madden, Corey McKernan probably had about 5 yards on Justin here. Have a look at this one. 1 yard. It made to 5 yards. The difference between the athletic ability of the two big fellas.
Dipper on the boundary line, Craig Bradley.
Yeah, they're taking no chances. As Lee Matthews said, they're taking no chance with Craig Bradley with a jarred knee.
58 points is the margin once again. Manton marks across the half-back line. Kicks it high out towards the wing. Dulio and Schwartz. Dulio recovers but can't take the ball with him, but Schwartz can. He is a brilliantly skillful player, and he puts it right at the face of Robert Scott. Scott's kick high towards the 50-metre line. The ball spills to the back. In goes Freeborn. This is a massacre. Freeborn kicks his second goal. North Melbourne kicked their 19th and there's still 14 minutes left in the game.
And you've got a hard-running, hard-tackling, hard-working team in North Melbourne tonight, and just they've sort of, Carlton got the break on them in that first bit of the game, but really since then, North have just been sensational again. That hard-running swash off the half-back line. Very good team.
.127 plays 63. Madden out of the middle, hurriedly onto the left boot. Goes down towards Koutafidis. It passes him on half forward. Picked up by Pearce. That could bring rain. Still in their forward line. Silvani, who's down there now, may get a chance. Koutafidis also can't. North defence has been very tight. Laidley loses out to Heaver. Back towards Silvani. Ripped to the ground by Simpson. Kept in play. Straight towards Schwartz. And he's happy to concede. May even get a free kick. No, it's going to be a behind. 9-10. There's 19-13 as Madden is again on the bench. And King brings it back. Margin back to 63. Look at Corey. Oh, he's grown wings now. To half forward, Manton will float across from the side. Can't take the mark. Danilchenko flicks it over the top. Anderson goes wide. They're in with a chance again. Archer has it 70 metres out. The pass is in towards the forward line. He wanted Bell. He hasn't. He's got Rock. Rock has been excellent. Short pass is okay. Gives a little ground to find Anderson. Stuart Anderson. 60 metres from home. A big drop punt. Over the top and over the back is Carey, and it's a behind. Well, Lee, you said at the start of the night you felt you were seeing the grand final side in action here tonight.
I said that 15 weeks ago, Sandy.
Now, there's no need to point.
And I'll stick to North Melbourne, seeing they're winning. No, I mean, these are two very good teams, but North tonight have been very, very good.
Robbo.
Kick in. Oh, brilliantly marked out there by Archer. Makes it look rather acrobatic in the finish. Much improved player. His kick towards full forward. Oh, McKernan up high. He wasn't paid. Sexton to Christou. Oh, misunderstanding between Camporeale and Ratton. Ratton close to the line. He just allows it to bounce over for a boundary throw in 40 metres out.
I can't help thinking, and we're harking back now to almost 8 months, that preliminary final when that centre square was a bog. And it worked completely against McKernan, and Carlton won that night. I think there's a lot of what-ifs going through the minds of a lot of people tonight.
Carlton came home with a wet sail, didn't they? 7-goal last quarter.
McKernan tonight, 16 kicks, 10 marks, 2 handballs and 18 hit-outs. Will he get 3 votes? Be a chance.
Be a chance. Wayne Schwartz has been excellent. Been a great team effort by North Melbourne.
McKernan down to Archer. Archer to Roberts. Roberts a pot shot at goal. He's missed. 2 goals, 1 to Mark Roberts. So David Parkin with a lot of searching to do in the next couple of weeks. Clappe marks the kick in, gets it to Fraser Brown. Brown's short kick is okay, finds Kernahan. Missed Ratton by a mile. Then his hand pass finds Camporeale. Then Ratton onto Sexton. This is Michael Sexton, goes in and he kicks a goal for the Blues. So it has taken one of their key defenders to come down the ground and kick their 10th goal. Brett Ratton in picture. North Melbourne 19-15 lead Carlton 10-10.
And it probably is the first time for the game we call Carlton getting that bounce out of the fence line, getting their half-back line running forward. Normally we see Christou pushing forward, but he was off the ground early, but he wasn't able to. Mackay wasn't able to get off Archer, and really there's been very little bounce off the Carlton half-back line as well.
McKernan again. Rock working hard. Simpson gives him assistance. Anderson gets the kick. Down to half forward. Bell taken out of it. Carey is there. Here goes Bell again. Picks himself up over the top of Archer. And from the back pocket, it is Andy Mackay giving the hand pass away to Hickmott. The former Cat Goes towards Rice. Unable to mark because Robert Scott's paying very close attention, and he does it beautifully. Just whips back between the two of them. Carey, some nice work too. Now he's asking Bell to fly here. There's a big pack of players. No one able to take it. McKay is waiting down. Bell has got him. Gives it off to Clappe. Tucked in the pocket. He can come to Sexton across the face, and he does exactly that in the opposite pocket.
Sexton can go short to Rice. Rice looking for the hand pass, maybe. He's going to be forced to go back and kick from the defensive 50-metre line. Minding the mark quite well there was McKernan. Forced a high kick. Kernahan has taken the mark on centre wing. Kernahan's kick is wide, looks for Pearce and finds him. So maybe North Melbourne just dropping off the accelerator button a little bit, giving the Blues a chance to kick a couple of goals maybe in the last few minutes. The ball at centre-half forward. Martin overruns it. Schwass attended to by D'Ulio. And the umpire is giving the free kick against Wayne Schwass, and D'Ulio gives him a mouthful as well. Wayne Schwass would probably have a wry smile on his face, but he's played a terrific game.
Yes, I think he fell on the ball. He sort of basically knew he was going to be tackled and held the ball in. I think that's a reasonable interpretation of the holding the ball decision.
So D'Ulio from about 45 metres. Wayne Schwass just back a little bit off the mark. It'll take a good kick to score. His kick gets under it, off the side of his boot a little bit, in the square. Chance for Heaver. Handballs, looks for Williams. Williams has struggled all night. Geez, North Melbourne player nearly cleaned him up. It might have been Blakey. And Anthony Stevens content to take it over for a boundary throw-in, but a fierce attack on Greg Williams back in the goal square. The crowd oohed and ahed. Ruckman of Fairley and Stephen Kernahan. Brown tackled by Simpson, and the umpire will bounce it about 35 metres out from the Carlton goal. Good crowd, Sandy. Big crowd here tonight. It's been a good night for footy, and North Melbourne have treated everybody who's come here to a magnificent brand of hard, tough, rugged running football. Kernahan gets it out only as far as Schwass. His kick would be marked by Hannah. Hannah able to kick it back towards the centre of the ground to Manton's advantage. Manton's kick towards full forward. On the end of this is Kernahan. Gee, it was a good mark.
Yes, I don't think you can say he hasn't led from the front, has he, Kernahan? He's really been a bit of a one-out forward, hasn't he?
You're talking about the attendance, Robbo, 68,537.
Well, you need that sort of crowd with two top teams playing on a night like this where it's pretty good for everyone, and the crowd have rallied. But Kernahan's mark here against Martin and Fairley was a good one. Kernahan 8 marks, coming up for his 4th goal. He's kicking from 45 metres. It is a pretty ordinary kick off the boot, and the look tells the story, doesn't it? He kicked one from about the same area against Essendon. He needed a point to win the game a couple of years ago, and he missed.
King goes to the outer side. A long kick. Ratton and Schwass are at the bottom of that. Scott McLaren, the pharmacist, comes in for a bounce. It tells the story, doesn't it, with Sticks Kernahan. Little tired, Heaver, Brown, D'Ulio. Runs away. Wobbling one inside 50. Coming to meet it is Mick Martin. Silvani's got him. Rice ripped off the football. Williams through. Maybe a free kick to Rice. It's been on and off the bench. Just a couple of marks. 4 kicks. 7 hand passes for the night. In the veteran class now, with 139 games under his belt. from 52 metres. Into the square he goes, and Silvani, so often forced to punch from behind to spoil, marks and will have a shot for goal. No doubt the sting has gone out of it though for North, opening up such a commanding lead. Silvani pops it through and it's elementary now. His first, and Carlton's 11th. 11-11 plays 19-15.
Yes, it is something about playing out time. I think once it got to this stage of the game, Carlton have kept coming, as you would expect they should, the last 5 minutes. But the margin obviously is a big one. Silvani, as he's done, not a stranger to playing at full forward, very rarely, but probably a couple of years since he's been down there.
You would have to think that those people leaving the ground would be Carlton supporters, because North Melbourne fans have had plenty to be happy about. Schloss nearly took a miraculous mark. He's going to get a free kick, I would think. Brown just a little overzealous over the top of him. His hand pass away for Laidley. Laidley from left half back. Keeps possession in the North Melbourne Guernsey. This is Bell. Bell, who came off the bench and kicked 2 goals. Scott tackled by Williams. Dispossessed. Brown spins out of strife. Then gets the handball straight back to Bell. Back towards the centre, Anderson looks for Stevens, quickly onto his left foot. His kick lands at half forward, brilliantly gathered by Blakey. Blakey goes for goal, hooks the kick, and kicks it behind. 1-2 to John Blakey. He's been a good player for North Melbourne. Danilchenko on the bench.
Takes on a variety of players, Blakey, and invariably, I mean, he would have won the contest with Koutafidis tonight. Koutafidis has done some good things, but I think overall Blakey's been the better player.
So Christou and Koutafidis combined, then the kick back towards the centre, knocked away from Williams by Laidley, forced forward, only as far as Heaver. Heaver's little left foot kick is okay and finds Hannah.
Mel Hannah's on half back. He just pops it over the top for Sexton, but he's put him under pressure. Roberts came at him. Anderson straight up in the air. It's going to be okay. A bit of aerial ping pong going on. It finishes with Roberts off to Schwass. Onto the right boot. He spears one into the pocket. Oh, here goes Blakey. Go onto the left and bend it back. How do you like those apples? Not quite, but it looked good. Carey hits the post.
Do you think the crowd would have jumped to their feet if Blakey's kick had been a goal?
Trying to work out what was going through Blakey's mind. I don't know what he tried that.
About 3 things, I reckon. He gave us a mixture. Oh, great stuff, those. As you say, Lee, he's been an excellent player. Hickmont in the back pocket. Ignores the short lead of Sexton, and instead the mark is taken by Anderson. 7 kicks, 7 hand passes. 60 metres out. Into that forward danger zone he goes again. They're relentless. Brown overruns it.
Hamstring.
Bell may make him pay. Off to Stevens. He tumbles it in towards McKernan and co. Corey almost did it with one hand. An attempt by Rock. That is a sensational goal. If Blakey can't do it, Rock will.
You're right, a hamstring injury to Fraser Brown, I think, as he bent for that ball over there. But really, North just going on with it now, this last few minutes of the game. I think you'll see here, up he comes. Here it goes. It's a 2 or 3 week hamstring, if I'm any judge.
Crack. So they've got Bradley on the bench, and now Brown, and they're facing heavy deficit. 10 goals is the margin. Williams rather lackadaisically. Heaver across his left shoulder towards half forward. Dulio, well done. Outpoints Schwass, which not too many people have been able to do tonight. Dulio, perhaps one of Carlton's better players, kicks the ball to Heaver. 12 kicks and 2 handballs to Dulio. Bradley 18 and 6. And Brown 11 and 10. Heaver with the football. 3 minutes left in the game. Heaver goes in towards full forward and finds Silvani, who's able to just get away from Mickey Martin and mark on his chest about 40 metres out on about a 45-degree angle. So Stephen Silvani, who was guarding the Carlton goals for most of the game, opportunity to kick his second goal. Not a bad kick either, Stephen Silvani, under normal circumstances, and he's been able to kick his second goal. So the Blues get their 12th. They still trail by 54 points. Wasn't a bad kick in the finish by Heaver. I don't know how Silvani got the space, but anyway, they haven't made too many Blues, the Kangaroos, have they?
Let's go down Fraser Brown, Dipper.
Yeah, it looks like a bad hamstring injury. They're just still working on him at the moment, Sandy.
What about McKernan's tap out? Two-handed, high up over the top, straight to the man he was aiming for.
Armstrong's kick to the half-forward line. North surge forward again, but it's Pearce who intercepts, and he goes back towards centre wing, over the head of Rice, and the free kick's given away. It'll be taken by Schwartz. "23 kicks, 6 marks, 7 hand passes," says it all. Flat-looking punt goes down towards Corey McKernan. Gee, those two, what a fair Quinella. Freeborn offers the lead. McKernan goes back. And a long bomb in towards Carey and co. Belted over the back. A chance for Clapper, who's been on and off the bench. He gives it to McKay, who just goes short over the head of Williams. It's taken by Ratton off to Camporelli. He bounces his way out of defence. And then looks up towards the half-forward line. No mark by Silvani. Martin was there jostling with him, and the umpire said, "I'm letting it go." So he does, and it's taken over the line by Ronnie DiIulio. Let's take you back to 1995 when these sides last met in that mud heap in the preliminary final league.
Yes, there's always a little bit of luck in football, and the weather's one of them, maybe.
Oh, and look at Wayne Schwartz on that day. Looked like something out of the black and white minstrel show. Straight up and down. Roberts couldn't take it. Schwartz is there once again, but he hasn't got mud on him tonight. Silvani, a fresh air shot. Mickey Martin almost lost his head.
Oh, that's a penalty.
Wasn't too subtle, that.
No, that was fairly obvious.
About as subtle as a sledgehammer, that one, wasn't it? Almost knocked the fence over. Hand passed it so hard.
Now, Dean Rice, there's been something happening off the ball here to Williams. So what it has done is improved the angle greatly.
Dean Laidley's not happy.
We've got a minute remaining, so I don't think it matters greatly, but Williams will have a shot from 40 metres directly in front. Only just makes the distance, but he does make it. It's a goal.
Yes, a little bit of feeling off the ball there, I think. I didn't see what happened, actually. It was a free kick to Rice, obviously, for the deliberate handball out of bounds, but the rest of it happened off the ball. So umpires are playing some very, very ticky-touch-wood free kicks in those situations, but I can't see it, so I can't comment on it.
Well, Greg Williams was the recipient of the advantage free kick for Carlton. But look at McKernan. He is a superstar. Kick forward by Armstrong. Koutafidis drops it. Blakey, left foot kick. It's going to be marked by Rock. Well, Anthony Rock can cap off a terrific game here tonight. Is he being able to run around? He is. He missed. Just thought there for a fleeting second that the umpire was going to go back and ask him to kick over the man on the mark. But Anthony Rock has kicked 2 goals, 1. And the North Melbourne advantage is just added to by a point. Kick in by Christou, out towards the wing, gathered by Scott. Hand pass all right. Danilchenko can't quite get past Ratton. Danilchenko's high kick towards the half-forward area, brilliantly marked by Rock in front of Hickmott. And with his 19th kick, Anthony Rock, well, they are the 3 best players. Anthony Rock, Wayne Schwartz and the brilliant ruckman Corey McKernan.
Yeah, Robbo, but I have to put him in an order.
Give them 2 each. The siren sounds. North Melbourne win the game. We just need to define the margin now. This kick by Anthony Rock.
45 metres out. What a way to finish. What a way to finish, North Melbourne. Anthony Rock has finished with a goal. It's his third. John Blakey is another fine contributor for North Melbourne, as was Wayne Schwartz. Let's see what he has to say. Here's Dipper.
Thanks very much, Andy. Well, John, first, a fantastic game on your behalf, and what a great win for the side tonight.
Yeah, look, it was just fantastic tonight. The guys, really felt that we owed Carlton. They've beaten us the last few times, and we just wrapped to win tonight.
It's been a big couple of weeks for the North Melbourne boys. The mental pressure on them must be enormous, but tonight you proved you're still a very, very good side.
Look, we know we're a very good side. Our players have been focused the whole time. We let the administrators do what they have to do, and we play footy, and hopefully, come September, we'll be up there.
Now, for the viewers at home, what sort of kick are we trying to do out there? An inside torpedo left footer.
I don't know. I just saw the goals. I thought I'd have a shot.
Congratulations. Go enjoy with the lads.
It was an interesting one, that one, wasn't it?
And interesting from Carlton's point of view. Now he's cooled down a fraction. Craig Bradley, as he's walking across the centre square there, has actually got a very noticeable hobble up. It's Fraser Brown's pinged the hamstring. It'd be interesting to see whether Bradley comes up next week, just the way he's walking across there.
Well, North fans can rejoice, as Carlton ponder their injury woes and this 55-point drubbing. There goes Dean Lade. He had plenty to say to the umpires with that late decision, but he'll be happy now as North are sitting on top of the AFL ladder with 11 wins, and they are a game clear at the moment. And they've got a pretty healthy percentage too. They came into this game with a percentage of 126.1, and will certainly build on that with that 55-point drubbing when they kicked a total of 144 to 89. So everything going pretty well out there at Arden Street at the moment. Players are taken in immediately. No doubt Dennis Pagan and the coaching staff will have a few quick words and keep a lid on things, as Ron Casey, long-time supporter of the club, president of the club, has been through a lot. And here they go in full voice.
Actually, their focus was good, wasn't it? When you consider all that kerfuffle that we've had about mergers.
Enjoy the night. Come on.
At least he tried, Dipper, didn't he? He tried.
Good on you, Dip. Well, why they wouldn't let it in just to hear the song. Anyway, they are victorious, and well may their fans rejoice. The final scoreline here at the MCG on Friday Night Football. It's, well, they've opened the doors. Yeah, they've opened the doors for the applause.
He got in the other door.
8.
He got in the other one down the other end.
21-18, 144. It's musical chairs here at the MCG. Carlton 13-11, 89.